What's up, Dragon Brood? So today we have some interesting news. First off, I have to say, by the time you watch this, hopefully, or maybe slightly before, I will already have, my upgraded vaccine in my arm, so I'll be getting my first shot. Now, that does mean I could be knocked out later because some people have different reactions to it, but I am trying to prep a couple of videos this evening to make sure y'all have stuff the next couple of days, just in case. Don't know how it's going to affect me. We'll see. But today we do have a very cool teamer list that plays a minimal number by just one creature that has adventure. And we're not playing what you really expect. None of the typical stuff. We get to play some cool cards that I actually don't normally get to see, which I love. And I have to admit, this wasn't even my original idea. This comes from Fire Shoes, who actually I think got it from a Japanese player. And if you don't follow Fire Shoes over on Twitter, you probably should. And exactly like it sounds, fire like what burns, shoes like what you wear on your feet. If you want to get better at Magic, if you want to know what the meta game is all the time, if you want to know what the top decks were finishing every tournament, he tries to recount results from tournaments all day long. So great follow over on Twitter. And by the way, if you haven't followed me on Twitter, you probably should, because I'm a pretty good follow over there myself with lots of fun stuff going on. Now, all that aside, I did change this deck up a little bit, and we do get to play Moraug, which has me very excited because I haven't had a good list for it, and we finally found one. But enough talking, let's go look at the list. All right, so starting at the top, we do have Karuga being played as a companion because everything costs 3 or more. So there's a chance you're going to get a couple of cards off it, though most of the time I don't expect we're going to get more than maybe 2, but that's okay. Getting cards is getting cards, and the way the deck works, it's fine. We are playing Bonecrusher Giant. This is the one adventure card we're playing in a teamer list, and that's actually really cool because we don't get to do that often. So if we get to trim down to just one adventure card, I'll take it. So I know people get tired of seeing teamer adventures. Now we have Azusa, which this is a card so many people keep asking me to put into a list whenever I'm playing Gruul or playing Teamer. So now we actually finally have a reason to play Azusa. We have Dryad of the Elysian Grove, which is kind of just doubles down on letting you get extra lands into play. Field Trip, which is very cool. So this lets you go search for a basic forest, but also lets you get something, a lesson out of your sideboard and gives you access to a few more cards, which is good. And you usually have the mana to play them. And then we have Scoot Swarm because, again, we're playing so many lands. Why not have a Scoot Swarm, And it's a good way to finish. And then this is where I kind of deviate from the list that was submitted. These next 2 cards were used to be lands in the other list, up to 36 lands the original list played. But I swapped them out to play 2 main deck Elder Gargaroth and 2 main deck Moraugs. Now, the reason was Elder Gargaroth can do a lot for us for helping us get an extra card, maybe find a land, can make us extra blockers, can gain us life. Blocks flyers, when you're talking about stuff against mono white aggro, when you're talking against rogues. So it's filling a lot of holes for us. Also, Moraug is very good here because if you get to follow up with our next card, Auron's Epiphany, there's a lot of times you can like Epiphany, get your tokens plus what's on the board. You play Moraug, you attack, they get bonuses. You play a land, they get to attack again with bonuses. And that's assuming you don't already have like Scoot Swarm tokens or anything else, which can really close the game from there. Or even just Gargaroth being able to trample can really get some stuff done. And you get multiple Gargaroth triggers as well, which is pretty sweet. So these cards all around are doing a lot of good work. And since your cards are pretty good at the lower end, your opponents never want Azusa or the Dryad to sit around because they don't want you to get the abilities. So a lot of times those get targeted and then you're ready to drop a Scoot Swarm or Gargaroth right behind it, which is also really nice. Now for the lands, we're playing 2 island, 2 mountain, 4 forest, 3 crack crown pathways, 4 Notvold's Slumber Mound, which is actually really sweet. The land destruction doesn't matter all that much, but it is a way to get a 4/4, which is pretty nice. And you usually have the mana to do it. And then you have 3 Bark Channel Pathways, 2 Ketria Triome, 4 Evolving Wilds, 4 Fabled Passage, 4 Field of Ruin. There is an argument to be made here, though, that since I did reduce a couple of forests, because they were playing 6 forests and I believe 4 of each pathway in the original list, you could possibly cut down like an Evolving Wild to play an additional forest, so you have some more basics to search for, because it does get a little light on basics, I believe, in one game potentially. So that is something to look out for, especially if you're still trying to hit triggers on, say, like Moraug or Scoot Swarm. But otherwise, it actually plays pretty sweet. If you want to know sideboard, we do have a full sideboard as well. So we've got Mystical Dispute, Teachings of the Archaics, Containment Breach, Basic Conjuration, Introduction to Annihilation, and Mascot Exhibition. I will say this, you do get to 7 pretty regularly, so if you want to cut something else to play a Mascot Exhibition, that would also be reasonable because you can usually get to where you can cast this, and then getting the 3 creatures is pretty nice. I would also say that Teachings of the Archaic has not been the best card, but it's also not been the worst card either. It's actually just kind of average. But you kind of have to get in a certain situation to use it. Your best cards right now, I would say, are probably Containment Breach and Introduction to Annihilation, especially if you're playing against the new like Witherbloom, Golgari, uh, Pest decks. Because being able to get rid of something like the Bastion of Remembrance, being able to get those off the table, possibly even using the introduction against something like Sedgemoor Witch, anything that's giving them all their extra value that's making your life bad. That's what you want to use those for. But otherwise, yeah, you can't really go get Mystical Dispute. It's kind of just taking up space there because you get 7 slots. So you could possibly cut the Mystical Dispute and play a Mascot Exhibition. Or maybe even cut an Ox of Agonis, move the Mystical Dispute down, and then just play an additional Mascot. So that would all be reasonable if you're playing best of 1. But this sideboard is set up pretty strong, especially against rogues if you want to play best of 3. So this actually fits both types of decks if you're looking for a little bit of action there. But that's it. Let's go watch some footage and see what happened in those games. Man, this is not good, but I'm going to keep anyway. I'm a glutton for punishment. Who knows, maybe I'll draw land, and then Azusa looks great. Nope, we get to play against crabs again. Boo, boo. Alright, well, some people just want to wake up and be a villain on the wrong days. I guess this means they're playing some combination of didn't say please. Oh, we lost. Oh, man. Scoot Swarm's actually one of the cards. Wait, Scoot Swarm's actually one of the cards that's decent. So I actually would rather have that. But here we are. Alright, let's see what we can do. I think I'm gonna Azusa first. Guess it doesn't matter. I have 2 Azuzas anyway. Still can't play the Epiphany no matter what. So that doesn't help our case. Alright, Drown in the Lock, sure. I mean, we'll do it again next turn. And they're down to 3 cards in hand. I'm going to assume they're just playing counters at this point. Yep, I'm okay with that. I mean, because it sort of feels like if we do get to stick a spell, that things will be pretty good. Because they're running out of options. And we'll still have about 28 cards or so by the time we get to go on the offensive. If we get to. I think we just straight up play this. And then play the Knot Vine or Slumberbound. And if they kill it, they kill it. I mean, the rest of the rogues got to show up sooner or later, right? Thassa's Intervention. It's something you don't see that often. That's still a good card. Alright, well, their hand's reloaded, so now we're probably in trouble. Not the card I was expecting, but definitely one that's going to make our life terrible. So I'm not sure what we're going to do now. It looks like they're just playing all counters, which is a bit of a weird scenario, but hey, if it is what it is, not a lot we're going to do about it. I'll do that just in case they have a mystical dispute. All right. Now the rogues show up. Really want to get the opponent's hand empty or closer to empty, so I can try to do back-to-back Epiphany and Moraug, which would be really nice. Alright. They're playing a very interesting deck, so I don't even think it's rogues at all. I think it's just straight up Dimir Mill with a bunch of random removal cards. That's just what they're doing. Another counter, I'm assuming. Unless it's just removal in hand. Which, if so, that's pretty good for us. Huh. Did not see that coming. So what do we do with this information? Has to be removal cards in. Yeah, I can't imagine they're doing anything else here. Gotta be just removal cards. So I think we just play Moraug. Just knowing it's either gonna get countered or get killed. Oh, a Brazen Borrower. Okay. That's not the worst thing, I guess. That could have been worse. Like in Thieves Guild Enforcer? Sure. That didn't change things greatly for us. Alright, their hand's empty. Now can we produce enough damage is going to be the question. We only have 20 cards left. Okay. How bad is it? I mean, there's no good card. Yeah, I say no card they have. That's the safest thing they could have had for us here. Okay. Now we have choices. Because we can Scoot Swarm, play a land, Field of Ruin, get a bunch of Scoot Swarms, try to play Moraug the next turn and see if that's enough. We could play Moraug here and attack, but that's not quite enough. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Though if they don't block, that would be lethal. So let's test this out, especially since our hand's empty. See what happens. See if Moraug's enough to get us there. I don't feel great about it, because there is a chance that they just block across the board. And even if they gamble on us having a land, we play the land and attack, and they have to block all of our stuff. But that's actually the best case scenario, right? Because then they don't even have the Ruin Crabs. And then we have Gargaroth and Scoot Swarm the next turn. So that's fine. All right. Here come the team. Are they choosing not to block? All right. So they took 8. And we attack again. I mean, that would put the opponent at 1 and then leave a flyer as lethal. We have 19 cards, so even if they get just a land, we're not dead. And we can get multiple attack steps just because of the Field of Ruin with the Moraug. So if they have a Moraug card to kill Moraug, then... Well, no, because they have to stop Moraug and the token. So yeah, that should be game. With just one card. Unless it's a thing that draws cards. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Oh, they went to 7, though. Ah. For shame. Okay, 18 cards left. We got to take a look at this. I still have some forests, so that's good. What do I want to do? Field Trip could remove a crab, but then I give them a card. I don't like that. Actually, I wouldn't even be able to do it this turn. I could Gargaroth, but then Gargaroth does trample. Actually, okay, let's do this then. And since this is just going to result in the same thing, let's do this. Get ourselves a bonus action of something. Maybe just getting rid of a crab is the best thing we can do here. I mean, Gargaroth feels like a good answer, but I think if, and this is a big if, we can get another couple turns out of it, we can get a pile of Scoot Swarms and at least force some action from the opponents. Oh, that's actually big. I like that. All right, so let's attack. We get a chance to kill a crab. I mean, depending on what the opponent has, we could possibly get rid of both Ruin Crabs here. We can also make a Slumber Mound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm one short of Slumber Mound plus Stomp. Alright, so let's Stomp first. Okay, so that gives us some insurance. I don't hate that. The opponent's at 4. I think we just try to make more Boot Swarms. And we have 16 cards, so I don't think we're going to lose here. This is a crazy intense game. Yeah, this is wild. Like, if you look at the opponent's yard, this game, just like, it was counter, counter, search, kill, mill, kill, bounce, kill. Like, that's all this game was. Like, so crazy. Let's get this. Do I even just because? I mean, yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, that was it. Got it. Is you can use it alongside Epiphany in this deck, right? Because you can get so much mana. It's just like, okay, boom. Got that. Now we get an extra attack. And we're getting all these bonuses. And you can kind of end the game in just a couple turns. Alright, opponent goes first here. We'll keep these. We'll see what happens. It's just wild playing a deck that's got 30 plus lands. Like, the fact that you can just have all this mana is just phenomenal. And I know friends who dream of playing decks like this. They just love all the lands. So, yeah, let's go ahead and kill this fledgling. Let's not let it get out of control. Especially since people can play stuff like Snakeskin Veil and stuff like that. If we have a chance to kill it, let's just kill it. Alright, Cobra into... I was going to say, like, what are we doing? I know that's not the end of the story here. Root Grazer. All right. Well, hell, I guess we're just gonna draw all of these Stomper boys. Okay, the good news is I'm only going to be one blue away from doing an Epiphany when we want to. So that's not the worst thing here, actually. All right, we're going to take 2, go to 18. Put a land into play. Nope, they're not even doing that. All right. So since we can't really do anything else here, I'm going to go ahead and put this in and just play one of these. And then that sets us up to be able to do either Field Trip or a Bone Crusher and still foretell an Epiphany and be set up to try to do stuff the following turn. And we'll see what happens. Apparition. Makes sense. Don't hate it. Alright, go to 14. Barring some special things here. Alright. So let's go ahead and play that. I was thinking I might do something else, but changed my mind. Still need... Oh, actually I can't foretell, because those are Evolving Wilds. Oh. Okay. Fair enough. This could actually be worse than I thought. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, you love Field Trip's flavor? Yeah, it's pretty neat. They had another one. Okay, see, now this is a problem. Because now we might just be dead next turn. Because I wasn't paying attention to my Evolving Wilds. Actually, that's not totally true. Because I can kill a Apparition and then attempt to block next turn. So I could actually prevent a lot of damage. This is going to put us down to 8. I think I'm going to go ahead and get an island just because. Can't hurt. I wonder, though, if it's worth it to just... I'm just thinking if I want a Bone Crusher anyway, and then just go ahead... Because now we're going to have the mana anyway to just straight up play Epiphany next turn. So I'm wondering if it's in our benefit to just do this. Don't give it protection, please. Alright. Alright, so we get a 3-3. We have a 3-3. Or 4-3. Now they have to have 2 removal cards to even attempt to threaten lethal. And we should be able to Epiphany, make 2 blockers. Still play Karuga the next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, we'd be 1 short. Because again, Evolving Wilds. Oh, man. Oh, Moraug. With this? Oh, that's so good. Alright, so we Moraug. We'll at least get to untap our flyers. And then we'll get to do it again with the Evolving Wilds. So yeah. We're into this. We're into this. This seems good. We're at least far from dead. That's the biggest thing. Like sometimes just like buying time. How do we not die? No attacks. Oh! That's good too. Alright, so Moraug. So we're going to attack for 2. And then they'll attack for 6. And then they'll attack for 8. Yeah. This is sicko. We're going to win with just the birds and the Moraugs, I think. That's gross. So 6 is going to put the opponent down to 7, and then we're attacked with just the birds. That's going to be lethal. How sick is that? Oh, wait. What? What? Wait, why did it not let me search again? Why did I not get to Evolving Wilds? Am I missing something? Oh, okay. The opponent, well, I don't understand what happened. Yeah, I mean, I guess I should have waited on that. But I have 2 field trips anyway. I mean, this is probably lethal here. Yeah, it's not letting me activate things. It's just skipping through phases for some reason. Which is super annoying. But alright, we'll just do this. Exile. Oh, crap, because that's a land. Ah, well. So be it. Doesn't matter. Still just the birds. Alright. It's still lethal. Now, those games are damn interesting and a lot of fun. I will say this from experience, though. It probably is going to take you about 10 to 12 games to really figure out the best way to use your mana each turn. Because there's a lot of times where you have to decide, okay, do I want to use the Slumber Mound? Do I want to go ahead and play Azusa and get the extra lands in play? Do I want to, like, foretell a thing this turn? Or do I want to try to, like, double Scoot Swarm? And I know there's a sweeper. Like, there's a lot of that I went through live on stream trying to figure that out. So it took quite a few games to really get a feel for it. It doesn't play like a traditional deck, so it's a lot more difficult than it looks. It's a hell of a lot of fun, but it is definitely more difficult to play than it looks. So keep that in mind if you decide to play it. The cool part about this is, though, it's not really using any new cards. So there's a good chance you already own a lot of these, because I think the most recent thing is the Land from Kaldheim and the Pathways. That's about it. All the other stuff is well before that, so you should be able to put this together fairly easy if you're looking for something to do with those old cards that you never get to play. Well, here's a home for a lot of them. Now, for today's card spotlight, we're going to talk about Magma Opus. And yes, this is one of the new cards. You know, the 8 mana, deal 4, tap things, you know, get all that. It does a lot of cool stuff. And even let you discard it to make a treasure, which is sweet. But the reason I bring this up is this is kind of like following the hype of Strixhaven, right? Like, it comes out, everybody's excited because it's a card that does this crazy thing and advances your mana, and that's exactly what control decks want. And then as people go like, well, Strixhaven's going to suck and it's not going to compete with anything and blah, 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 blah. Price went way down, but cratered to like $1.40 or something at one point, I think. But now, only a week later, it's already up to $5 and probably still going to go up a little more until we see some more of action from those new Prismari decks, and is it decks, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's just this type of thing. It's like sometimes cards follow that path as well, following the hype. So something to keep in mind. But if you do want to get the card in paper, like I said, it is going to be about $5 right now. And I would keep an eye on the upcoming tournaments this weekend, because as more standard results come in, if it turns out that card is a critical part of multiple decks, it could easily get back to a $10 or $12 level in short order, being a mythic. So just something to think about. Also, remember, if you want today's deck list, you can get it in the description down below. And if you want to follow any of my stuff, come say hi over on Facebook Gaming or on Twitch and catch one of my streams while I'm just giving stuff away, or maybe be part of the discussions here, or even part of the videos. And more importantly, if you want to get deck help, especially right now with Strixhaven, come on over to our Discord. The link in the description below as well. And if you haven't, please remember to like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because that helps me get seen, lets me know you appreciate what I'm doing, and lets you be notified every time I have video up. But that's all I have for you for now. We will see you next time.